Aloha and welcome to the Liho Sports Podcast, the local in-home online sports talk. Today is January 15th. I am Ben and I'm here with Daniel Zahn. Today we will be talking about how the NFL is finally in full swing, the MLB offseason, and James Harden being traded to the Nets. Zahn, would you like to get us started?
Yes, I would. So the NFL season, we are finally in the playoffs. Wild card weekend, super wild card weekend just finished.
Mm-hmm.
Games on ESPN, CBS, Fox, NBC, and even Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon had a game for the first time I've ever seen. But that was a bit of a fun experience. With the wild card games, the Ravens won, the Buccaneers beat the football team, Saints beat the Bears, the Bills beat the Colts. Am I? Which game
Rams,
am I missing?
Seahawks.
Rams beat the Seahawks, and I believe that's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Rams versus Green Bay
Mm-hmm.
and Buccaneers versus Saints, and then in the AFC, oh, how did I forget? The Browns beat the Steelers.
Oh yes, the Browns beat the Steelers.
The Browns are gonna be playing the Chiefs, and the
Ravens play the
Ravens are playing the not the Colts, the Bills.
Bills. Yeah, Bills.
Yeah. So that's actually gonna be a pretty good. Those are gonna be
Mm-hmm.
some pretty good games coming up this
Go
weekend.
go Ravens. Temporary Ravens playoff fan. Right there.
I
Temporary, just for the playoffs.
just for since both of our teams are out of the playoffs, we have chosen temporary teams, both surprisingly in the AFC side.
I know you're
I'm
probably Bills.
I
Or
am going
Chiefs.
for
You're
the
probably
Bills because it's the New
Bills.
York
Bills.
team. It's the last New
Yeah.
York
Oh
team in
yeah,
the
that's true. That's true.
playoffs.
That's true.
Even though they are from upstate, they're from Orchard Park. We'll give them credit. They're the only team that actually plays in New York, if we're being honest here. But well, I'll be a part of Bills Mafia for a little bit. Josh Allen was my second favorite quarterback out of that draft class. I did like Josh Rosen the best out of all of them. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, so now it's the divisional round. I think it's going to be some very good games. I think NFC side, it's hard to beat the Packers, but that Rams defense could do it. With the Saints Bucks, everyone's choosing the Bucks this time, but the Saints have showed us twice already that they can beat the Bucks and Brady.
I just want Brady to lose. That's all I want.
That's all. As the former Patriots fan, he doesn't care for Brady anymore.
Hey,
Nah,
don't get it twisted though. I respect him. I respect Brady, and I know that he's good. But I wanted to lose because he backstabbed us.
he backstabbed you guys. And then on the AFC side, of course, Chiefs are the favorites right now, but Odell is very confident in the Browns team. And then the Ravens Bills, I think that's going to be a really good game because the Bills offense has looked absolutely
Mm-hmm.
insane. Josh Allen's had MVP seasons. I've been posting on Instagram about how I felt like Josh Allen's a bit underrated, and if this was any other season, this dude would be winning MVP. But of course, you
Mm-hmm.
got people like Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes in the league, and
Yeah.
it's it's fun time to be a football fan. And if you're a Steelers fan, you hate yourself and life in general. But if you're a fan of any other team in the league, you're pretty all right with yourself right now.
Don't worry. Y'all can still hit the Corvette. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Hey, Corvette,
Take
Corvette,
your
all you guys
Corvette
want
right out of the playoffs.
right out of the playoffs. I love all those memes of like an actual Corvette like driving over Juju on the ground. I find that hilarious. I think it's so jokes. But I think we should recap our team's success. Me being a Giants fan, you being a Patriots fan. We both had
So not
some.
much success to recap.
There's not much success to recap, but should make for very fun content. There's a reason we're doing this. It's for the content.
Okay. Well, you want to go first?
Do you want me to go first so you can prepare yourself for the torture? Because I'm used to this. I'm used to this situation. This has actually been a
Yeah.
good season for us by standards.
I say
So
I say you can go first just because I feel like you have a little less to talk about. I mean, because I can go on forever what we need to fix.
okay, so last time I ranted about this team, I talked about how Daniel Jones sucks and how we're gonna need a new quarterback. Well, I think he might have watched the podcast because ever since I said that, dude turned on a light switch. He went 3 straight games without going a turnover, but then he got hurt. He pulled his groin in the Bengals game, and he didn't look the same after that. Against the Ravens, he actually did look pretty good against the Ravens, but we got killed, so no one really knows about that. But against the Cardinals, that was not a good game. Jones was not 100%, and we lost our step. We were going really well. We had lost to the Eagles, then we beat the football team, beat the Eagles, go to Seattle, and we beat Seattle. That was probably the best moment of the season, beating Seattle with Colt McCoy at quarterback. It was that was fun. It was fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed watching us beat Seattle. Our defense was absolutely incredible. That's the highlight of our season. Like, you're gonna have other fans like, oh, we did this in the playoffs, we did this. We beat the Seahawks in Seattle, and with Colt McCoy as our quarterback, and Blitzboy sucks still.
Blitzboy sucks.
I love how we went from praising the Seahawks and Jamal Adams at the beginning of
I
this
know, right?
to now he's turned into the meme of the channel besides
Yeah.
Michael Thomas.
Oh yeah.
Jamal Adams has joined Michael Thomas as a, a joke on this channel, pretty
A
much.
joke.
a running gag.
Yeah.
But we have the 11th overall pick. We're actually in a pretty good spot. I think Jones should be the quarterback of the future. I think he should have at least one more year. I love Joe Judge. I think Joe Judge is an amazing coach. I love that we're keeping Patrick Graham. I think Patrick Graham's an amazing defensive coordinator. I'm a bit iffy about Garrett, but I'll see how it happens. We'll see how it goes next year. I'm going to do a little bit of a teaser right now. We are planning on doing a mock draft video after the playoffs, pretty much. I'm going to say before the Super Bowl and before the Combine, we're definitely going to do a mock draft, and definitely one after. That's the plan for right now. So look for more consistent videos and stuff like that throughout the rest of the channel. But we have the Giants have the 11th overall pick, and I think we should go one of three ways. I think we should go edge rusher, pass rusher. I think we should go wide receiver, or I think we should go corner. Any one of those, I'm perfectly fine with. Just don't draft someone bad.
I know Zahn wants Devontae Smith real bad. I mean, anyone wants Devontae Smith, but I know Zahn wants Devontae Smith real bad.
Oh, yeah, we were watching the national championship together, and I kept saying, just pull him from the game. Pull him from the game. Please stop. He's going to fall to 11, I swear. No, but that actually might open up the door for us to get Waddle or Chase, so I'm not going to complain. And it's a semi decent receiving core, so I'm not going to complain about if we as long as we draft a receiver, I'll be happy.
What about signing? Because I know you're interested in signing Galladay too. What if they sign Galladay?
I would be fine, because right now we're a team of number twos. So I just want a number one wideout. If we could get a guy like I would love Chris Godwin or Kenny Galladay. If I had to pick between one of the two, I would definitely take Kenny Galladay. No offense to Chris Godwin. I think Godwin's amazing, but I think Galladay's more of a number one than Godwin, because Galladay's been that number one already. Godwin's been a bit with Evans and having other weapons around him. So I like Galladay more in that aspect, and I think it can help improve Jones's stock in general.
Yeah. Okay. Is it my turn?
All right, Ben. Yep, it's your turn. By the way, I will just put a disclaimer real quick. If I ever look to like the bottom corner, I have the Bucks and Mavs game on my iPad.
Okay. Okay, so I feel like it's an AA meeting. I'm like, hi, I'm Ben. My team didn't make the playoffs this year. And then they're like, oh, what team is it? It's like the Patriots. And I'm like, whoa.
we should have had Doc in here. It would have been an AA meeting for depressed fans who missed the playoffs.
Okay, well, here's my thing. I'm low key excited, just a little bit, because I feel like we're just as close as you guys to becoming back to, or well, for us, back to what we were anyway. We're like one or two pieces, because that's how I feel you guys are, like one or two pieces away from becoming like good, like, you know, challenging in this league. I mean, you guys are already challenging, but more challenging. So I feel like as soon as we get, because we already have a good run game. We don't need superstar running backs. Like Damian Harris is good, Sonny Michel is good. They're not superstar, but they're good, and our run game works. So I feel like really all we need to improve on this season, or not this season, this off season, is either get a receiver, draft one, sign one. It doesn't really matter to me as long as we get one. And a quarterback. Oh my, we need a quarterback. I feel like
Okay, talk about Cam Newton.
Cam. Okay, here's the thing. The reason I'm not too upset with him is because in the first half of the season, or not first half, but first couple games of the season, he was looking like not MVP Cam, but like it was gonna be MVP Cam is working up to it. Because I'll tell you what, as soon as he came to the Seahawks game, I'm like, we're gonna catch dirty lickings right now. We're gonna get pounded. And then we almost won. And I was like, you know what? I'm not mad because it's still early and we still have a lot of time. And then Cam got COVID, and then after that, it was just downhill from there. I was like, I don't know what happened to him. But then again, I didn't want to blame him because it's not like, he's on a 1 year. He probably has choke pressure. He just got off COVID, so it's not like you can, what are you gonna do? Yell at him for getting sick or something? Like you can't. You're not gonna blame. You're gonna say you're doing bad, and he's like, I just got healthy. It's like, you can't really blame him. They didn't let him put in work. I seen all the off-season videos of Cam, and I was excited. I was like, Cam's gonna come back, MVP Cam. He's gonna smack everybody, get his revenge. I'm kind of hoping we can bring him back, maybe as a backup, just in case our other quarterback that we sign or draft doesn't do good, just so that because I feel like he still has a lot of talent. It's not like he's not talented, but it's also his first season, so we don't really know. I think they're kind of hoping with the 1 year deal that he'd kind of come back and be MVP Cam, which I was hoping too, but obviously it doesn't work like that all the time. You kind of get lucky if it does work like that. But yeah, I don't really blame him too much either because, like I said, we got to get receivers. So he didn't. I mean, he was throwing to Demir Bird half the time. Like
Jacoby
as much
Myers
as
is
I'd
your.
love Demir Bird to be our number one receiver, he's not a number one receiver in the NFL.
I don't know.
Or
Cam
Jacoby
seemed like a number
Myers.
one at one time, and Jacoby was the quarterback. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can't blame him too much. It's not his fault. Like he's throwing to not nobody's necessarily, but not the best receivers that we could have considering the competition in the NFL. But yeah, I feel like as soon as we get a passing game, then we should be fine. Because obviously nothing's wrong with our defense because we freaking shut out the Chargers, who are one of the better offensive teams, I'd say anyway. Just because of the weapons they have, like because they had Eckler too. I'm pretty sure they had Eckler back for that game. He's been back. He was back for a while, and they had Keenan Allen, who's apparently, according to him, better than Tyreek Hill and whoever else is in the AFC.
I,
I
I I
mean,
know a fan who would love to argue that aspect, but
yeah, no, we don't mention wannabes, and like, we
we,
don't
we don't
mention wannabe
mention we
no.
don't mention D1 kickers who didn't play today or play this year.
I
Nah,
didn't
nah.
see that. He said that. I didn't
Hey,
say
I'll
it.
fully admit to that. Nah, I love that guy.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to the next thing.
Wait,
We're gonna talk about.
I want to ask one more question
Okay.
before
Okay. Okay.
choice. Mac Jones as your possible quarterback.
Okay, I like that. I actually like because I was kind of everyone's talking about how he's kind of carried by the receiver. Obviously Devontae Smith and Waddle and whoever else he's passed to Najee to.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of weapons around him and people say that's why he did so good. But you gotta think what was it? He had like the best passer rating or something, QB rating, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he won the award for that. And it's like obviously
Oh,
he
he was the
has
best QB
like
in the nation.
yeah, obviously he had a lot of weapons around him, but you got to consider it's still hard to get. You can throw, like you said a while ago, AJ McCarron. AJ McCarron was good though, but like you can throw someone like that. Like you see how he did in the NFL. Like
Mm-hmm.
you still gotta be able to do it. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to get the job. It's not easy to throw like a pass, like say like throw a slant the way Mac Jones does. Because I've seen him throwing and he actually places the ball really well.
It's like
Because
Drew Brees. It's like for as much
mm-hmm,
crap as we give him for being a short passer, he's
yeah,
really precise and accurate when it comes to his short
yeah.
passing.
Yeah, like I just think like I mean, not saying he's one dimensional because I mean I know he doesn't like to run, but like as long as you can pass good, pretty much that's like your only job. Being able to run is just kind of an extra thing. But
Mhm.
like the way I seen him placing his ball placement and everything like that, it looked good. And obviously it's a Devontae Smith, but still, yeah, you got to give him some credit for
Yeah.
having because you can have what they had, and Mac Jones still could have thrown like 6 picks a game if he wanted
Mhm.
to, if he is as bad as
He could have been
people
Jameis
think he
Winston.
is. Yeah, he could
Yeah.
he could be
Winston
doing that.
Winston threw for what last season? 4,000 something yards. Like he led the league
Yeah,
in passing yards. He had 31 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns, but he had 30
Hmm.
picks.
Yeah, and he has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and I mean that's one of the better offenses too, like
Mhm.
receiving wise.
Yeah.
So it's not like he wasn't throwing to nobody.
I mean, he did have the Heisman winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac Jones was throwing to the Heisman winner.
Hmm. Yeah. But yeah, that's
Sorry,
pretty much all I have to
I
say for my
the
teams,
reason I
I
was
guess.
laughing is because Tim Hardaway shot like a mid range. It bounced off the back rim. Finney Smith gets the rebound, passes it out to Tim Hardaway in the 3 point line, and he like hits the back rim again. And
Oh
he's just
my,
like, "Come
that's
on,
tough.
that's
That's
so
tough.
tough."
Sadly, I
But
know the feeling.
oh wow,
But yeah, I guess moving on to the next part of the NFL segment, we're gonna talk about who should win the awards this year. So like MVP, Coach of the Year, stuff like that. We're just gonna kind of go through it fast, just kind of give
Mhm.
like our thought on who should win it and why, kind of just real quick. So I'm gonna let Zon go first since I was just talking that whole time about my team.
Yeah, no, it's good. So I've actually already mentioned who I think my MVP is. I think it's Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. Getting Stephon Diggs, who led the league in receptions this year, amazing get for the Bills. That first round pick that they traded, which ended up being Justin Jefferson. So I don't know. I think both the Vikings and Bills won, and that's what I said when that trade originally happened. When the trade originally happened, I said this is a good trade for both teams because it allows the Bills to get that number one wideout that they need for their developing quarterback. And the Vikings get a really good return because we saw what the Texans got for DeAndre Hopkins. So it allowed the Texans to get, or the Vikings to get a really good return for Stephon Diggs, who was a bit iffy with Cousins. And they ended up getting a really good wideout in the draft in Justin Jefferson, who I did think was the best wideout, but that's for another day. Um, I think Josh Allen would have been the MVP. As much as I hate to admit that he's not going to win MVP because I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
I know who I think is going to be MVP, but I feel like you're going to say him, so I'm not going to say him. But in my honest opinion, it should be Josh Allen. He's played incredible. His completion percentage was up like 28% or whatever it was.
Hmm.
His yards was incredible. He's still a very mobile QB, and I think he ran for a few touchdowns this year.
Hmm.
He threw for like 40 touchdowns and lessened the picks, but he's still that gunslinger Brett Favre type of quarterback. So of course you're gonna have picks mixed in always.
So we're just gonna bounce back and forth then on the awards. Are you like
Yeah,
gonna say
I
yours and
think
I'll say
so.
mine? Okay, okay.
I think
So for MVP, actually, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I agree with Zon on this one. Actually, because I know, like he said, I think same thing, kind of same train of thought as him. I think Josh Allen should win it, but I'm gonna explain what he's thinking, which is what I'm gonna say, which
mhm.
is probably Pat Mahomes is gonna win it, just because he can simply like we're saying we think Josh Allen should win it, but we know Pat Mahomes is gonna win it. But yeah, so basically Pat Mahomes. I don't really need to explain. He's kind of just the thing is he won MVP or he's gonna win MVP because he's pretty much he's being
Face of
I
the
think
league.
because yeah, basically, I feel like I talked to Zan about this the other day. Is like the thing I feel like is hard is just because social media tends to cloud our judgment on certain players. Like even if you barely pay attention to it, like you see it, so you just kind of make assumptions based off it. So, because like I'd say like say someone who doesn't like has no social media just watches NFL games, right? They'd probably see, oh, these guys are kind of the same, but because of the way Allen has been playing, I feel like it's just like it's like 1A 1B,
Mhm.
but I feel like Allen just played a little bit better considering also you got to consider like the talent they have around them, other
And the
stuff like that. I
record as
mean, I know
well.
yeah, and I know like it's like oh you can't really judge them based off the talent because then that's basing it off how other players affect it. But I just feel like we could also just be not biased, but because Pat Mahomes already won it, and it's always Pat Mahomes, so we could kind of have a favor towards Josh Allen, but that's just the way we kind of see it, I guess. But yeah,
Mhm.
but like we know Pat Mahomes is gonna win it, but we think Josh Allen should.
Yeah. And I think one other name to mention that's still in the running is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers
I
had a
was
really
gonna
good
say that. I was
season
gonna
as
say
well.
Aaron Rodgers is in the running
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. You know what? I'd be fine with any of the three winning it, honestly. Rodgers
Hmm.
deserves one more MVP to solidify his status as one of the best
Yeah.
quarterbacks to play this game. Another Super Bowl for him would be incredible as well. Mahomes is on track to become the next Brady, basically, but he's going to be a little bit more fun to watch. No, not saying Brady wasn't fun to watch in all the years of his glory and everything. Who am I kidding? Brady's 43 and still killing the league. Brady's still in his glory, but like Mahomes is right now on track at 25. He already has an MVP. He's won every MVP you can. He's won the Super Bowl MVP, the NFL MVP, and the Pro Bowl MVP. The only other MVP you can win is the Nickelodeon one. He didn't play on Nickelodeon. So.
It's so funny though, because their whole thing was based around like the Nickelodeon thing was based around like people scoring touchdowns and then doing a slime cannon, and they chose the game with like the least amount of touchdowns. And like, I was like, that's so obvious that it was gonna be that game too.
Because it was the Bears, and the Bears aren't good.
Yeah.
The Bears were the worst 8-0 or 7-0 team to exist in the NFL.
The thing about it was that the Bears are like terrible, but their defense is good. So
yeah,
it was it was opposing the Saints offense. So it's like because the Saints obviously can score a lot, but when they go against a good defense or a defense that's on their game on that day, it's going to be hard. So it's basically just a defensive game, and there's barely any. I swear every time I saw a touchdown, I'm like switch so I can see the slime cannons. But just then I was like waiting for a touchdown forever.
Yeah, no, that Nickelodeon game was it was a little bit. I think the Nickelodeon broadcast was better for that game, just so it would be a little bit entertaining.
Yeah,
like because if it was just CBS alone, then that game would have sucked.
Like, yeah, I literally went to the beach because I was like, I know this game's gonna be boring. Then I can come back. Was it the Bucks after that? Yeah, I can just come back and watch Brady after that. Yeah,
I thought Tyler Heineken, as people have been crowning him, Tyler Heineken. Heineke played a really good. I thought he played pretty good against the Bucks defense. Like that's been pretty good this year. Like we're talking about MVP candidates. This Bucks team like murdered Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So to have Taylor Heineke have the game he had, like that was pretty cool to watch.
Okay,
then next one would be Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year.
So Coach of the Year. You know what? Screw it. Joe Judge. For me, the reason it's Joe Judge, yes, it's completely biased. I don't care. This team sucked the last year, and it's basically the same roster without Saquon Barkley. We're having the same roster do so much better than what we did. Like adding James Bradbury and Blake Martinez, huge for the defense. But the culture change that happened in that locker room when Joe Judge came in, that's my Coach of the Year because that's my coach.
Okay, here we go. My Coach of the Year, I feel like it's kind of, it could be a surprise, but because honestly, I don't know, there hasn't been any like in my mind any coaches that like stand out like crazy. Because you know how usually it's like a coach that has a really good record or something. Like everyone kind of has not around the same record, but it's not like any coaches kind of stood out. But one for me that kind of stood out just for other reasons is Stefanski, the Browns.
Kevin Stefanski.
Just because, okay, here's my thing. He literally, not him himself. Obviously, there's a bunch of coaches that kind of contributed to it, but he was the one that it got done under. The Browns making it to the playoffs. So, that's you go from, I was still alive for it, so I saw it, is the 0-16 Browns went into the playoff Browns, and in my opinion, I don't know about anybody else, they could actually beat the Chiefs this weekend. There's a possibility that they could.
There is a chance.
Yeah, and it's not even that low. It's low, but it's not like low where it's like the football team beating the Bucks. It's a little higher. Or the
Giants against the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not that low of odds.
Yeah. Because it kind of depends on how the Chiefs defense play. But the reason I say Stefanski is just because he kind of was able to bring the Browns out of there. Hopefully, they can stay out of their funk that they were in, and they can continue to be a playoff team later on in the future.
It depends on where we are in the Baker Mayfield cycle of things. Yeah. Are we at the trash or are we at the media slander part? It really just depends. But yeah, no, I think that's a good choice.
And then next one is Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year. I'm gonna say Derrick Henry. I think Henry had a
Oh,
really
Derrick
good
Henry.
season. He had 2,000 yards rushing, was unstoppable, and is the reason John won fantasy this year.
Okay. For me, it's kind of hard. I'm kind of stuck in between. I would say, you know what? I'm not gonna say Henry, but I give him a lot of credit because he has like no Pro Bowl lineman, I'm pretty sure, and he has like
I
the
think he had
rushing
one,
record. One, okay, one.
yeah, but I think he
But
got hurt.
just to spice it up, I'm gonna go a little different. I say Stefan Diggs probably is my choice, just because he is yards leader, right? Receiving yards leader, and I'm was he receiving touchdowns also?
No, that was Devontae Adams.
Okay. Oh yeah, Devonte Adams. Well, I'd probably say Devonte Adams if he didn't get hurt and miss some time.
Mhm.
But I say Stefan just because every time I watch him, he's able to just no matter who the DB is, he's able to just throw them off their game. I'm pretty sure he has like every game. I'm pretty sure he had 6+ receptions this season.
Yeah,
I
there's
think I seen something like that on Instagram.
mhm. Yeah, I think he finished the season with what,
Mhm.
120 something?
Yeah,
I
something like
might be
that.
wrong with that, but I think it's like 128 was the number that he had that
But
he
yeah,
finished
that's
with.
just in my opinion because I feel like one thing that's been hard this season was watching receivers get locked down at certain times. And I say like him and Devonte Adams are the two best at being consistent every game.
Yeah.
But since Devonte Adams was out for some time, I gotta give it to Stefan.
And that's actually going to be a really good matchup to watch is Adams against Ramsey. I'm gonna
Yeah,
because Ramsey doesn't shy down from a challenge. Ramsey will
yeah.
he will guard Adams every play he can.
The thing that's hard too is it's harder for a DB to like lose the matchup. I mean,
Mhm.
easier. It's easier for the DB to lose the matchup
Yeah.
than it is for the receiver to win it because you literally catch like. I mean, it kind of depends on the yards, but just them catching in general makes it because all they need to do is catch the ball. I mean, obviously, all the DB needs to do is lock them down, but there's so much just working
They,
against the
yeah.
DB in that case.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I
And
think
then
I'm good with that pick.
and then next is defensive player. I feel like we're gonna say the same person. I mean, oh, actually, no, I might go different.
I'd Aaron Donald. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Aaron Donald. Like I even look at next gen stats, like not just the sack stuff, but it's like
Yeah.
sacks created off of like first man beat. This dude's getting triple teamed and he's still creating 19 and a half
Yeah.
sacks a
Mm-hmm.
season. It's ridiculous. You don't defend Aaron Donald. Like this dude's on defense and this is a Lawrence Taylor type of like play from Aaron Donald. Like I'm talking last like player to win MVP good, like last defensive player to win MVP type of like amazing that Aaron Donald is. And yes, he's like some people say he's overhyped. I don't think so. I think he's perfectly hyped.
Mm-hmm.
This man's a beast, and he's 300 pounds of pure muscle. Like if
Yeah.
like in Hard Knocks this offseason, you see Aaron Donald every time you look at him, his shirt's off, and he could bench Sean McVay like easily. Yeah. I
Okay.
know it's a cop out answer, but it's Aaron. It deserves to be Aaron Donald. By the way, Middleton just hit a three.
All right. So I'm gonna pull what we did for the MVP kind of. I know Aaron Donald's gonna win it, but I think someone who could come close in beating him probably Xavier Howard. I'd
Yeah.
say that's who would come close. I just want to say who comes closest because you know we can just talk about Aaron Donald the whole time, but probably just Xavier Howard. He led the league in interception. I'm pretty sure he had 10 interceptions.
Second year in a row, by the way, I believe that
Yeah,
he's had
second year in a row.
5 or more interceptions, and I think he's also led
Mhm.
the league twice in a row now. Xavier Howard's
Yeah,
been incredible.
yeah. I feel like that's who would be runner up against him, just because I feel like they tend to if someone keeps winning it, they tend to just try and switch it. They come up with an excuse to give it to someone else just so that it's different. But yeah, I'd say probably Xavier Howard is the one who comes closest when it comes to defensive player of the year. Like
That's a
that's the
good
only one you
show.
can come up with a good reason for. Is like this
Yeah,
guy caught 10 picks, so he beat Aaron Donald.
yeah,
Like that's pretty much all you can say. Besides that, if you say anything else, it doesn't really make sense.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, next is offensive rookie of the year. I feel like we're gonna say different ones for this one actually.
So I'm gonna say who I'm gonna just say who I think deserves it the most. Justin Herbert. absolute incredible season from a rookie. I don't remember if he broke any of the rookie records. I don't remember how much touchdowns he got. I don't know if he broke Mayfield's record. I don't know if he broke the
Yeah, I think he
yards.
broke the record. I think he broke the record. I think
All
he
right,
broke touchdowns and yards.
yards. All
I
right.
think so.
Well, Herbert looked incredible from the start of the Kansas City game, where we found out that Tyrod got hurt. Like ever since then, he looked absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
Um, I wanted us to draft him last year, but of course he didn't declare last year, and he got picked at number 6 in this year's draft. Guess who? Guess which pick we had last year? The number 6. Who do we take? Daniel Jones. Herbert's there. Maybe we take Herbert. Maybe different story in life. But yeah, I think Justin Herbert should be the rookie of the year. But there is one other person I would mention in the conversation, which I think is the person you're gonna talk about, but I want to hear from you.
Okay. My prediction, offensive rookie of the year. Gonna have to bring out Gritty God for this one. That's my prediction is Justin Jefferson. The only reason I say it is because he had so much games where he is not saying Herbert isn't consistent, but Herbert for or not Herbert, sorry. For a receiver, it's already hard to be consistent. And I'm pretty sure in PFF grades, Justin Jefferson was like the second or third in single man coverage or something like
Mhm.
that. I mean, obviously they could be switching every week because they figured out like, oh, maybe we shouldn't put the number one guy on Adam Thielen. Maybe we should try Justin Jefferson
Yeah.
because this guy's scoring so much.
And then Thielen
But
puts up 2 touchdowns on the Bears.
yeah,
Like,
that's why I mean, it's just because obviously he's a rookie, and to be graded that high against single coverage, and it might be easier for me to say too because I had him on fantasy, so like I got to watch him every week pretty much, and I was like counting on him. But yeah, so pretty much that's why is just because I feel like he kind of made it. It's honestly crazy because he could be a number one receiver. I think like if he played like this season, he's technically played like a number one receiver. So they basically had 2 number one receivers. I don't know how they didn't get the team running. Don't ask me. I'm not a Vikings fan.
defense,
But oh yeah, yeah, the
Cousins, and
defense.
Cousins.
Hmm.
Best
Oh,
thing I
but
could say.
yeah, that's my offensive rookie of the year. So next one is defensive rookie of the year.
All right, so I'm actually not gonna go with a linebacker or an edge rusher. I'm gonna go with a corner. I'm gonna go with L'Jarius Sneed from Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
He's actually been a really good cover corner. We all know who is probably gonna win it. That's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
going with L'Jarius Sneed, is because we all know who's gonna win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's probably gonna win it unanimously if we're honest. So I'm just gonna give L'Jarius Sneed some time on the internet to be praised for a little
Yeah,
bit. L'Jarius Sneed, I believe he had one game where he had 2 picks. I can't. Was it against Deshaun Watson in that first week?
I think so.
I
I
think the
think so.
first game, L'Jarius Sneed had 2 picks. I think he finished the season with like 4 or 5 picks. He was a pretty good corner and exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs needed to get out of this draft. Not saying that their defense isn't good, but losing a guy like Kendall Fuller it's going to hurt your secondary
Mm-hmm.
whenever you lose someone like that. So
Yeah.
getting a decent mid-round corner in L'Jarius Sneed, I think he was mid-round. I'm not exactly sure when they took him. But getting someone like L'Jarius Sneed I think, was really good for them. And he's not going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but I'm going to just put his name out there on the interwebs so that he gets a little bit of praise this year.
I'll go with the obvious choice because it was kind of hard to. I was thinking, I was like, I couldn't even think of barely any rookies defensively, and I was like, Chase Young's the only one that comes to mind. So probably Chase Young's gonna win it. He didn't demolish Tom Brady, but he still did good this season.
Yeah.
He was calling them out, didn't get to demolish him, but he still did good this season. I'm pretty sure they were. I mean, that D line in general is deadly. So he just makes it
Yeah.
even more. It's crazy because I know the D line, they've been there not for a while, but like they've been there longer than him. But I feel like he's like the unspoken leader of that D line, even though he's the rookie, which is
He
kind
has
of
the
cool. I
captaincy.
think. Yeah.
They
Oh,
gave
he
him
does.
captaincy. He was the team voted captain.
Okay. I don't know. They have like 2 Alabama guys on that D line, so I don't know
Yeah,
how
Deron
where
Payne
they.
and
Yeah, Jonathan Allen.
Ioannidis.
Yeah.
Oh, and Allen. They have such a good D line. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Ioannidis, Sweat, and Young.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's so low key until this season. I was like, oh,
How did we beat them twice with our old line? We had
I was
the
thinking to
worst
myself,
graded tackle out of the rookies in Andrew Thomas, who, by the way, was playing this entire season hurt. I would like to mention that he had an ankle injury. He was actually pretty good. I like Andrew Thomas, but anyway,
mhm.
continue.
But yeah, so like it's so funny because it's so low key until this. Literally, I was like watching a Redskins or excuse me, a football team
Football
game,
team.
and then I was like, oh, this. I was like, oh, Jonathan Allen's on his D line with Chase Allen. That's pretty mean. I was like, wait, they have Darren Payne too. And I was like, Montez Sweat. I was like, where they even get? Where, I don't remember them drafting all these guys. I was like, bro, this D line is dead. And I'm pretty sure like they had like the number one pass defense too, if I'm not wrong. And it's probably
Yeah.
because of that D line forcing them to third ball. But I was like, bro, that's like deadly. I was like, I don't know. They came up with this D line out of nowhere, but yeah, pretty much just Chase Young is my pick for defensive rookie of the year.
I'm just gonna add in two more names because I feel like we're gonna get roasted if we don't mention at least two more people that because we said we couldn't even think of people. Because I'll
Mhm.
be honest, I even had a little bit of a hard time. Patrick Queen and Jeremy Chin had really good rookie seasons as
Mhm.
well. But Chase Young is Chase Young, so
Yeah.
we're yeah, we'll keep it at Chase Young.
All right. Next one is comeback player of the year. I feel like we shouldn't even mention anybody besides Alex
Alex Smith.
Smith. Yeah. It would have been Cam Newton if Cam Newton did good, but no.
Alex Smith almost losing his leg, being told he was gonna die. I
Yeah,
love that
apparently
whole
he told he
ESPN
was gonna
post.
die.
It's like told he was gonna die. I'm like, is this the draft situation again? Because like in the draft in April, like every other player that was being like drafted, like ESPN's like lost his mother at age 4, lost his
Mhm.
dad, lost his brother. Like, I'm just like, why does
Yeah, they like
everyone
highlight the
die
weirdest
for these
stuff.
NFL players? Like, I'm like, this is depressing. I'm like, it's
It's
meant
like
to
a
be a
superhero
happy
origin
moment.
story. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's their origin story.
origin story, yes. But yeah, Alex Smith, plain and simple. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
Big
just
Ben
gonna
had
say
a
that.
good season, but Alex Smith. Go next one. Next question.
Okay. So, play of the year. This is the one I wanted to hear Zahn because we waited till this. So I wanted to hear Zahn's, and I know what's mine, and I feel like is the player of the year.
Um, so I had a hard time thinking of the play of the year. My play of the year is I don't know,
I'm
Daniel
hoping you don't say
Jones
it.
running and tripping.
Oh my.
No, no, no. Probably his other read option against the Eagles that he actually scored on. But play of the year, I know there's an obvious one, but I,
I'm hoping it's not escaping your mind, the one I'm thinking of, because I feel
no,
like
no, no.
it's
I
quite
there is one I'm
obvious.
thinking of, but that I don't want to say it because I'm pretty sure that's the one you're gonna say. So I'm trying to
Oh,
think of
okay.
something else to say. I'm gonna say CeeDee Lamb's catch against the Vikings in that corner of the end
Okay.
zone. He was like falling back, and the uh
Mm-hmm.
was it Danucci or Dalton like threw it to like the back left
Oh yeah,
pylon,
yeah, yeah.
and Lamb's falling, and he goes and catches it like that. Like that was a really good play. I can't really
Mm-hmm.
think of anything else to say because we all probably know what the play of the year is. So I'm gonna let Ben say it. Hopefully,
Okay, so the one I was thinking of was D Hop's catch, game winning
mm-hmm.
catch. That's what
The
I was
Hail
thinking.
Murray.
Okay,
Yeah, the Hail
yeah.
Murray
I mean, it's like Aaron Rodgers esque the way he rolled out and then like set feet throw and then
in the
D
same
Hop
end
caught
zone
it.
as the Jeff Janis
Yeah.
one against the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs, just a little bit more to the left side instead of to the
Yeah.
right side. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing I thought that was the funniest about it was that he had Jordan brand gloves on and they show the catch like you can see the Jordan and he's not even sponsored by Jordan so he got like none of the money. I'm pretty sure they said he could have made like 7 mil and he like since he's not sponsored by Jordan it doesn't matter because he can't get the money. I was like bro that's tough.
That is tough. Hey, the Knicks are only losing by 1 right now. I'll take that.
Okay, so moving on, that was our awards of the who should win the awards for this year for the NFL.
We're not going
Next
to name
is
Walter Payton because the Walter Payton Man of the Year because we can't be bothered to go through all 32 candidates.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then okay, so moving on, we're gonna do a quick playoff predictions run through. We're just gonna should we just do this week then? Who we think
Yeah,
is
just
gonna
do
win?
this week. Yeah.
Okay, bet. Okay, you can
NFC
do
first?
yeah,
You want me to do NFC? You do AFC since my team's in the NFC,
yeah,
your
we can
team's in the
just do
AFC?
that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's going to be the Saints and the Packers. I think, yes, those are the two favorite teams, and that's where they're playing. But I think they're both really good. I think the only game that I'm not 100% on is the Packers game because the Packers seem to be iffy against teams that can run the football and
Mm-hmm.
be very hard nosed and tough. So depending on how Cam Akers does and how Daryl and like that running attack and how Aaron Donald does in that defense, so it could be that's the only game I'm iffy about. But I think the Saints are beating the Bucks. I know Leland's going to be happy to hear that. But yeah, so I'm gonna say Saints and Packers.
All right. And then, okay, so AFC, what's it? Ravens, Bills, and who else is it?
Ravens,
Chiefs.
Bills, Chiefs, Browns.
Okay. Well, I'm rooting for the Ravens, and I want the Browns to win. Not because I hate the Chiefs or anything, but just it'd be nice to see some diversity. So I think it's gonna be, Bills Chiefs. I hate to go with the favorites, but unless the Ravens defense plays, I mean how they usually been playing, but because it could go either way. But I just feel like that's what the more likely result is the
Mm-hmm.
Bills win, Chiefs win.
And
But very well, the Browns and Ravens could win.
and I just think seeing what happened to the Ravens against Mahomes, I think facing a guy like Allen might be a bit challenging for that defense.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. They had some killer run stop game against Derrick Henry. Though I'm not gonna lie. I'll bring
Oh
that
yeah,
up.
yeah, absolutely. So, onto the NBA. Very big news that has happened. The season's just starting. As I mentioned earlier, I am currently watching an NBA game with Milwaukee and Dallas currently playing. Um, but there was some news that just dropped 10 minutes before we started recording. Carl Anthony Towns, who sadly lost his mother to COVID earlier in the offseason, has just tested positive for COVID, and there's been a couple games that have been postponed. I believe Golden State and Phoenix has been postponed, and Memphis and Minnesota has been postponed. So
Not
I
gonna
just
lie.
wanted
That
to.
must be kind of scary. Like I'm pretty sure he lost his mom and like five other family members.
Mhm.
I think it was. That must be like scary because like they died from that, and just imagine like you get it. That must be like super scary. Like just a tough time he must be having. Like he's already not depressed, I want to say, but he's really down about it, and then you get it. It's just like even worse.
Yeah, I feel for Kat, and I've liked him ever since he came out of college, and I
Hmm.
hope he gets healthy and he recovers from this and is able to play this season because
Yeah.
he's good for the NBA. He really is. Having good young stars is it's always a positive, and he's also playing with one of his best friends from college in D'Angelo Russell. So
Hmm.
I, I wish the best for Kat. I know he's probably not going to
Yep.
see this video,
Prayers up.
but prayers up,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. So moving on. Since we did award predictions for NFL, we're gonna do award predictions for. We know it's early. We're gonna do award predictions for NBA. So
So
first one up is MVP.
well, just based off of the few games that we have watched so far, and taking into account what else could happen throughout the rest of the season,
Mm,
I'm gonna go with Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic
mm,
has been killing it in the NBA, killing it in in basketball fantasy as well. I think he's averaging like 55 fantasy points a game, something like that.
mm-hmm.
But he's leading the league in triple doubles, leading the league in assists. He's been absolutely dominating for Denver, but he's not the only center who's dominating. And I know you mentioned him earlier as
Yeah.
the current front runner. I don't know if that's who your MVP pick is. I'll let you talk about him later. But for me personally, it's definitely Nikola Jokic as my MVP so far, and
Mm-hmm.
for hopefully the future, who's going to win it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean since it's so early, it's kind of a toss up. It's not like the NFL ones where we're kind of sure of it. But I feel like although Jokic is good, one thing I'd say, or well, mine, I think it's Joel Embiid who might win it. But one big reason I feel like is because the players on the Nuggets, they're kind of versatile enough to take care of themselves. Like they can shoot, they can pass, they. I mean, not saying they'd be good without him, but they'd be pretty fine without Jokic. But if you take Embiid away from the Sixers, he's kind of their leader. Like he might be. I mean, not obviously not the best shooter, but he's one of the better shooters on the team.
which is kind
And
of depressing.
yeah, and he's one of the better defensive players on the team. And I feel like without him, they'd be kind of lost as an organization. Like, because we know Ben Simmons is Ben Simmons, but he can't shoot. I don't think he's much of a leader type. He's kind of just as of right now, he's not really as much of a leader. But Embiid kind of is in the leader role right now. He kind of fell into that, which is good because I feel like Embiid's a perfect leader. He has a mentality where he's hungry. That's what I like too about him. And he's one of the better defensive players in the league, I think. Not only right now, but like last year, he is one of the higher ranked ones. But yeah, I mean, obviously, another guy to talk about is Giannis, but that's just he already won 2 times in a row, so we're not going to talk about him because everyone should know what his game is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next up is Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year,
this one's going to be kind of hard.
Yeah, this one is going to be kind of hard. So many choices, obviously, but I think it could go to someone like possibly Tyronn Lue over at the Clippers. It could go to obviously the best team in the league, whether it be the Bucks with Mike Budenholzer or the Lakers with Frank Vogel. But I'm just gonna say it based off of what we've seen so far compared to last season, and the one I'm going to go with a new coach, actually, like a coach who got hired in the offseason. Not many people talked about this when it happened, and I was kind of surprised because even I was a bit like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, they signed him as a head coach. Like, oh, he could be good. He's been good in the past. Tom Thibodeau for my New York Knicks. Like, obviously, the Knicks have been the laughing stock of the league for the past 40 years? No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say a while.
We were good in the 80s and the 90s. We were good in the 80s and the 90s, but we haven't been in the playoffs since Melo was on the team. Like, it's been a rough stretch for us. It's been a rough stretch for Melo. I'm glad he's still at Portland, though. But the way Tibbs has been coaching the players, seeing Randall perform up to an all-star level now, considering how much we're paying him, I'm more than happy to just say for right now, just in case, Tom Thibodeau, Coach of the Year, just because the Knicks are improving. We're a lot better than we were last year. Hopefully RJ can be good. Hopefully Obi can stay healthy, all that sort of stuff. So, Tom Thibodeau.
All right. So for mine, I'm kind of just going to go 2K my league way. Probably just go with whoever has the best record is who they usually choose as the Coach of the Year. So I think if they get it together, Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets, I think he might win it just because I feel like, I mean, the Lakers might be close to having the best record, but I feel like just with their firepower in general, and if they can get it working, Steve Nash is probably going to win. I mean, obviously, if they get it together, then Steve Nash should win it because no one expected that team to get it together. So if he gets it working, then he should be winner.
With the amount of ball-heavy like players he's going to have, like the amount of people who love to just be there, be that guy, like we'll see how it goes. But I think Nash also has a really good coaching staff around him with D'Antoni and people like that. So I think that's a good shout.
Yeah. And then next is Rookie of the Year. I got mine in mind. I feel like
you're gonna say the obvious. I'm gonna let you say the obvious one most likely. I'm actually gonna say Tyrese Haliburton from the Kings. One of the guys I would have been fine with us drafting, but of course we took Obi Toppin, which was my main guy I wanted. I thought Obi was a great player. But of course we did need a guard. We ended up taking one later in the draft, but Tyrese Haliburton looks really good so far for the Kings. He's oh wait, I'm gonna take a picture of this just in case. Sorry, something came up on the screen and I might need it for later, so that's why. Okay. I think you might know why. So I think I'm gonna go with Tyrese Haliburton. He's a little bit of the underdog story because of who the favorite is right now, but I'm cool with saying Tyrese Haliburton. He's had a great start to the season so far and looks really good for the Kings.
Okay, so for mine, I'm going to say the obvious, which is LaMelo Ball. He's been dominating quite a lot lately. I'm pretty sure he has more rebounds than he's averaging more rebounds than James Wiseman, which is pretty crazy in my opinion because he's a point
He's
guard.
first in points, rebounds, and assists among
Yep.
rookies, I believe,
And
and one more
steals, I
stat,
think.
steals. Yeah,
Just because he had like one game of like four or something like that, I think.
was that the
But
game against
then
us? I don't remember.
I feel like he's trying to. One thing I want to mention is James Wiseman could very well win it just because I've seen him play. He's pretty dominant at his position. But I feel like LaMelo's going to win it. And the thing that's crazy about it is LaMelo's right now a bench point guard and he's doing better than the regular point guards almost. If Terry
True.
Rozier didn't have that one game where he went off, then they'd probably be arguing that Melo should be starting. But I want to give credit to the Charlotte coaching and staff just because I feel like they know what they're doing. It might be like a psychological thing where if they start Melo, then he might be like, "Oh, I'm starting now, so I gotta do this, do that," and then he might not produce. So I feel like they know that they're giving him a sense that you're a bench player, so you can kind of just lay back, play your game. We're not really relying on you to like win us the game. So he's just playing his game right now, which I feel like that's what they're doing. Because at first I was like look at Melo, he's putting up all these numbers in less minutes than the other players. But I'm like, maybe they know what they're doing and they're like trying to give him the bench minutes just because they don't want him to get lost. Which is probably what happened to Lonzo so long ago. Just because he's a starter, he probably just got lost in all of the emotion and stuff like that. But LaMelo's playing his game right now. I feel like it's thanks to the coaching staff. They probably know what they're doing. I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going on.
Yeah. And I do just want to mention something while I was checking the game. The stat line came up, and of course I'm going to check the next game. We're playing the Cavs right now. Very interesting stat to notice. It's not even the end of the first half. Andre Drummond has 20 points and 14 rebounds right now.
Oh my gosh.
So he is on pace to not only get a 20-20, he could get a 40-40.
Mm-hmm.
So just look out for that just in case in the future after we're done recording this and it's already been posted, the game would have finished by then. So if by any chance Drummond has a really insane game, just know we caught it live here and you'll see it on the YouTube video. If not, then just disregard he had a really good half.
All right. Up next award we have is most improved player.
I'm gonna go with that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Julius Randle. He had I know it's a bit of a biased one, but legit. He went from being last year and kind of just being a scorer. So now he's averaging 23, 11, and 8 or 7.
Yeah.
Which is
insane. I think 8.
His assist numbers are almost triple, I think. He was averaging like 2 or 3 assists a game last season. Now he's like 8. It's amazing. I love watching Julius Randle. He's been doing really good this season, and I hope he keeps it up because then like it doesn't look like that bad of a signing.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
all right.
As always, this is a disclaimer we should just have written on the channel. If there's dogs in the background, there's dogs in the background. There's nothing we can do about it.
All right. So for my most improved player, I'd say most improved is gonna be kind of hard. Probably would have been Kelly Oubre if we did this before the season started.
Thank God we didn't do that before the season started. Holy Lord.
But I'd say my most improved probably be, I feel like it's kind of hard to tell since it's still early, but my most improved probably be Karis LeVert, considering even what we're going to talk about later, which is a Harden trade. But considering now he's on his team, I mean, they have Domantas Sabonis, right, on the Pacers. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Karis can now like have his own game. Yeah, and Brogdon. But like it's not like where he's on the Nets with Irving and Durant. So he can still kind of do his, because all those bubble games where he is literally going off. He was scaring me that one game we were playing. We need to win them, I think, and then we need to win the next one in order to make the playoffs. Yeah. I'm watching Karis. I'm like, bro, this guy's dead. I was like, he's just gonna drive.
He's dropping like 35 right now. He can't miss from the free throw line. Like even his middies are being taken. Like I remember us talking about that.
But I feel like, and even Dame, I seen on Twitter, Dame said something about like he's gonna go off now, and I was like, yeah, he definitely is. So that's my most improved player, just because he's finally out of a system where he's not the number one player. I mean, he could still very well not be the number one player, but he's definitely gonna be a number 2. Mm-hmm. So, but I feel like he's gonna easily take over the number 1 role in the Pacers organization.
Oh yeah, 100%. And so Yeah, no, that's most improved.
Okay, and then next is I'm trying to remember. What is SMOTY?
Six man of the year.
Oh, six man. That's what it was. I was trying to think. I was like, I don't know why. For the life of me, I couldn't remember what it was.
That's all right.
I should have just gone back to the My League days. Just back to the My League.
That's all right. That's all
Okay,
right.
so yeah, you can say you're six man.
So six man of the year. You know what? LaMelo Ball.
Oh, that's actually a good one. That's actually a good
That's a
one.
good one because, like you were saying, he's been coming off the bench and he's been averaging a lot, like more than most of these guys on other
Mm-hmm.
minutes. But another one to throw in there, another rookie, Halliburton. I guess he's been starting a little bit lately, but
Mm-hmm.
he started the season on the bench, and I don't know, but I think LaMelo was actually a really good shot for six man of the year.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know why. For the life of me, I couldn't remember. There was one guy coming off the bench, and I was like, he's dead. Oh no, I think it was Karras. I was gonna say it was six man, but since he's gone, and if he comes back, I'm not sure his injury what it is right now. I'd say probably Spencer Dinwiddie's gonna probably win six man if anything if he does come back, just because he's already good, and like I said, if the Nets can get it working, they're gonna win probably coach of the year, which would be like they're probably going to be the best team if they can get it working, which means if they're the best team, he's probably the best six man putting up stats because they're going to all be on the court. They're probably going to take him off the court, and then Dinwiddie is just going to be out there by himself, like just
Yeah,
dominating. Hopefully, that's what's going to happen. So that's my six man is Spencer Dinwiddie.
and of course we lost the chance to name the obvious pick because he sucks now. Apparently, like ever since the bubble, he sucked. Lou Will has
Who's
just
that?
not been the same.
Oh yeah, Lou Will.
Like
And
Lou
then
Will's
Trez
been
is a
the sixth
starter
man.
now.
Yeah, like Lou Will's been the sixth man.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're
Yeah, I
being
don't know.
honest, and
This might be it, bro. This might be the
he's
end for
fallen
him.
off, bro. It's sad to see because like I was like the guy. Him and Crawford were six men, like six men of the
Oh,
year.
quick guy to throw in. For I hope if we give him minutes at all, he's probably gonna get more minutes since Nurkic is hurt. Is Gary Trent? He might even win six man too. He's a good runner up.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been bubble six man.
Bubble
I
six
I
man.
tell you
Yeah,
what, he
he
would have
was
been bubble
killing it.
six man.
Yeah, he was
All
killing
right.
it.
So that was our early award predictions. Next, we're gonna move on to the big news in the NBA, which is the James Harden trade. And I'm gonna have let Zahn explain the details because he knows it better than me from memory.
So I first of all, yes, I do know by heart like what the stuff is, but I
Mm-hmm.
did just screen. It did just pop up on the broadcast
Oh,
earlier.
that's what
So
popped up.
yeah, that's what popped up.
Oh, okay.
So the Nets got Harden and a second. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The Nets got Harden and a second. The Rockets, who traded Harden, got four unprotected first round picks, three from the Nets, one from Cleveland, which was Milwaukee's pick, and then four pick swaps as well, plus Dante Exum, Victor Oladipo, and Rodney Karutz, I believe. Karukis, something like that. And then Cleveland, from giving up that first, got Jarrett Allen and Torian Prince from the Nets.
Yeah.
And Indiana, for giving up Oladipo, got Karis LeVert.
Harris. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
was
is the details of the trade. I'm like 98% positive.
Yeah, it's so wild sending all those
Yeah.
picks and people around.
This is crazier than the whole Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook switch thing that happened.
Yeah. So I guess just to continue talking about the trade, I guess we'll just say if it is a win lose or well, there's three teams involved. We'll just say the Nets and Rockets.
4 teams involved.
Oh yeah, 4 teams. But we'll just talk about Nets and Rockets.
Yeah, because those are the two main teams.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think we should include Indiana though because they're getting a player like Karras.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they won because I mean they gave up Oladipo, but Oladipo wanted to leave in the first place, so it's kind of a win anyway.
I actually think Cleveland and Indiana both win. Mm-hmm. But I think Cleveland just has too many big men. But again, we're also losing to them, so I can't really say anything right now. So, but yeah, let's just talk about Houston and Brooklyn.
All right. So for Houston, Brooklyn, the thing is, it's kind of a win-win, which is not bad, but it's bad because it's a win for Houston only because Harden was detrimental to them. like just recently. So it's kind of a
The
win
chemistry
because
was done.
yeah, because obviously, I mean, they get rid of the talent, but his talent did not make up for the attitude he was giving them. And it's just funny because I seen something earlier. It was like, oh, he said, I meant no disrespect by saying we couldn't fix. I was like, that was really disrespectful. It's like me telling Zahn the Giants can't be better. I didn't mean no disrespect, but the Giants can't be better. It's like,
Yeah, it's like,
it's like what? What's the point of it then?
yeah. It's
But
like
yeah,
what
so
else is it meant to mean if when you say it like that?
yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's only a win for the Nets too. Is if they get it working, because it's gonna be a loss if they don't get it working.
Mhm.
But it's technically a win-win because the Nets get James Harden. That's freaking anyone would take James Harden. I wanted James Harden, but so the Nets get James Harden, so it's a win, and it's a win for the Rockets because they technically get better because you're better off without having freaking I don't know James Harden who doesn't want to play at all.
The terrible chemistry is done now, but now John Wall and Oladipo get to play together
The
along
sad
with
thing is
Boogie.
Oladipo still wants to leave. He still wants to go to Miami next season. That's what I heard.
Fair shout. I mean, Miami's a good place to go. I mean, they got
Mm-hmm.
guys like Harrow, or I should say Ben,
Yeah.
Butler, Achua now,
Mm-hmm.
Adebayo. So it's like, yeah, Miami's a good destination for any person right now, and plus no
Mm-hmm.
taxes in Florida, right?
I don't know. You gotta watch out for the Florida men though. The Florida newsman.
Yeah,
Yeah, late in the news, like Florida
Florida
man does
man,
this. Yeah,
Florida man wrestles alligator and then
yeah,
eats dinner with him. Like what?
yeah.
Crazy headlines.
All right. So that was kind of quick, but we're gonna move on to the MLB offseason, and this is Daniel's favorite part of the episode because it's his expertise, and I'm just gonna let him rip it.
So not only is it my favorite part of the episode because the main center part of the entire MLB has to do with my New York Mets. But of course, I'm an MLB fan, and Ben also gets to enjoy it because he just gets to listen to me talk for like an
And I
hour.
get to go. Mm-hmm.
And he just gets to go. So I'm surprised that's not a meme in the channel already. Of like
Yeah.
whenever we talk about NHL or MLB, Ben's just like and I'm just sitting here talking about all this sort of stuff.
Now, when I hear something though that I'm like, yep, I know that. I'm like, yep, I
Yeah.
know that. Brewers,
So
Brewers.
yeah, Brewers. Well, first of all, I was looking at my phone earlier because breaking news happened in the MLB. Of course, I didn't want to break it until we got to the section, but two-time Cy Young Award winner Corey Kluber is in a pending agreement with the New York Yankees, depending on the physical, of course. I believe it's a 2-year deal. I don't know the exact numbers of the money yet, but it's a great addition for the New York Yankees. Rotation, they also did sign DJ LeMahieu today, which was great for them, a good pickup. DJ LeMahieu's been their starting second baseman in DH for the past couple of seasons, or for last season mostly, and I believe the season before that. Has been a really good player. I believe he was MVP candidate or MVP like the past couple of seasons. So really good to get for them to re-sign him back. And yeah, the Yankees are in the market. Free agency though has been kind of slow. The biggest names so far to sign are like Corey Kluber and Liam Hendricks. They're two pitchers. One's in the bullpen, one's in the rotation. One went to the Hendricks went to the White Sox, and as I just said, Kluber went to the Yankees. But the three big ones heading into free agency are still on the market. Trevor Bauer, who just won the Cy Young for best pitcher in the league, he played for the Reds last season. He's still in free agency. Um, JT Realmuto, who is currently the best catcher in MLB, is still on the market. He just got offered like a 9-year, $100 million contract, but we're not sure if he's going to sign it yet. And then George Springer, who was on the Houston Astros. Yes, those Houston Astros that cheated. He was on that team. Really good player. He's a center fielder. Kind of hope the Mets sign him. I don't know what's going to happen yet. I like Springer. He also went to UConn, if you like, just random throwing it out there. He went to the University of Connecticut. Just weird fact that I know, thought I'd share with people because UConn's not really known for anything besides women's basketball and Kemba Walker. But my favorite part of this entire thing is talking about the Francisco Lindor trade because it's Francisco Lindor. And the Mets traded for Francisco Lindor, arguably the best shortstop in the game. I know Doc's going to say Corey Seager, but Doc can say whatever he wants. He's a biased fan. He's also a Raiders fan, so he can go suck it. But basically, Francisco Lindor is. Let me put this into NFL terms, I guess. So I know I've talked to Ben about this a little bit, but uh, trading for Francisco Lindor is basically like trading for kind of like trading for Deshaun Watson right now. It's the team wanted to move on from him because they couldn't pay him. So they kind of dumped him off to get prospects and to get like I guess draft picks, but they were already drafted in a sense in the MLB. So instead of getting like first round picks, they just got players that were like taken pretty high and some players who are like really good prospects in the league. So think of it as them like drafting like college players, but instead of them going through college, they're going through like the minors or like the G League instead of going through college. So yeah, think of it in that sort of sense. But Lindor is a great addition to a Mets team that just got new ownership and is looking to make a splash in the New York market and not be second fiddle to the Yankees anymore. Um, it really improves their team as a whole. Also, getting Carlos Carrasco in the deal, a good pitcher for them to add to the list, and it just improves them in whole. And of course, it's going to suck for the Indians. Sorry, Cleveland, because that's another name that's going to be redacted soon. Is the Indians are planning on changing their name, so I just have to call them Cleveland now. Cleveland might move on from another couple of their players, but getting Carlos Carrasco and Francisco Lindor is huge for the Mets and puts them on pace to be possible playoff team and possible contenders. Just depends on injuries and stuff like that. But I'm really happy with it. I've loved Lindor in the league, and I'm really excited to finally see him or to see him in a Mets uniform because, of course, that's my team, and we haven't had something like this. And well, since Piazza, it feels like we haven't had an off season like this. It felt so. It's been a long time, but yeah, the MLB season, the MLB segment's going to be a little short because well, there's just sports is busy, of course, and we've missed a lot. We've been busy with school and stuff like that, of course.
We have
Um,
lives, guys. We have lives.
we do have lives. They are showing highlights from the Cleveland Knicks game right now. They're talking about how Drummond's doing really good, sort of thing. I don't know what his final stat line is for the half. Oh, his final stat line was 20 points, 14 rebounds. But I'm gonna do just really quick predictions on who I think could win the World Series. Uh, Obviously, the Dodgers. They're the reigning defending World Series champions. They're really good. Um, San Diego Padres. I completely forgot to mention. Padres have made moves this offseason. They've traded for Blake Snell, who was really good in the World Series last year or this past World Series for the Rays. Pitched incredible. They took him out, ended up losing. But the Padres have made improvements, so the Dodgers Padres is going to be fun to watch. They're two teams that could definitely compete. Yankees are always in talks because it's the Yankees. So I mean, MLB season is going to be good. They should be starting spring training soon. We're not exactly sure yet on how the season's going, but MLB is going to be exciting, definitely for sure. Then I am going to mention this about the NHL. The NHL just started on yesterday, right? No, yesterday. What's today? Friday? Wednesday. NHL started on Wednesday, and it's going to be interesting to see. We actually are in a fantasy hockey league and a fantasy basketball league. So if anyone wants to see updates on our fantasy leagues, comment comment down below. Interaction with our fan base because we're actually getting like views now. We're actually like getting people
Yeah.
to view it. It's not just like 3 of our friends who are viewing it anymore. It's actual
Yeah.
people. Like it's kind of weird, but
We're on the come up. We're on the come up.
we're on the come up. We'll be there shortly. What
Um,
were we gonna mention?
quick shout out. If right before you end,
Mhm.
quick shout out. This weekend, good luck, Max Holloway.
Max.
He's fighting
Mhm.
this weekend, the homeboy, and Punahele Soriano. I think that's his last name. He's fighting two boy from Hawaii. 7-0 right now. Hopefully he can make it 8-0, and hopefully
Yeah,
Max can
hopefully.
beat Kelvin Cater. And
Get some revenge for
if
Danny Gay.
yeah, and if Volkanovski wins, hopefully we get that fight too. I think if he wins this fight, then he's gonna end up fighting for the belt again. I hope they don't keep him from fighting for the belt just because it's Volko again. Hopefully they give him a chance. But yeah, just wanted to give a quick shout out to Max, and hopefully he wins this weekend.
When's McGregor
Uh,
Poirier?
Next week I think too,
Next
or
week?
it's like 9 days out, something like that. Something like that soon.
Because we're in that Fight Island like style of stuff again, where it's gonna be like 4 weeks of like fights, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's gonna be Holloway and Cater tomorrow, and then it's gonna be McGregor Poirier like next week or the week after.
Yeah, something like that. And the fight tomorrow is ABC free fight night, baby.
So
it's free.
It's fine. Finally, I actually get to watch something without it being illegal, even though I actually
not saying we do that.
ESPN
Who does
Plus.
that?
I have an ESPN Plus.
It's bad to
account,
do illegal
people,
streaming,
okay?
guys. Don't ever
I have
do that.
ESPN Plus. Give me a break. I actually can stream. Okay.
We do not support the use of illegal streaming. Dana White will have Israel Adesanya come to your house and beat you up if you are illegally streaming.
Sorry.
But yeah, I seen Max too this weekend during New Year's. He was at my neighbor's house. My brother got to take a picture with him.
Why didn't you say hi?
He's actually pretty cool. Huh? Oh, I thought I said no. I swear I told everyone. Like in
no,
our
you never
chat.
told me. Wow, that's so hard.
Oh.
Wow. So we run a sports podcast together, and you meet an MMA superstar, and you don't tell me? That's hurtful.
Or well, because I just seen him. I just barely told him hi. He was like leaving as we came, so he said bye, and I was like, oh. But then he seemed cool though. You know how it's like you think like celebrities are like to themselves, but then he just he's like, oh, what's up? And he like shook my hand and left. And even Rush is funny. Rush ran up to like my mom, like as his auntie. He's like, oh, bye, and then he like hugged her bye. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Like, oh, they're like super chill though.
Yeah. Definitely good luck to Blessed himself, Blessed MMA himself, and he's not even Hawaii boy anymore. The people who are fans of UFC, I don't know of one person who doesn't like Max Holloway.
Yeah,
because of what he brings to the sport.
He's people's champ.
He is. He really is. Like yeah, people like hate on McGregor and stuff like that, but I rarely see people hate on Holloway just because of how he is and the way he holds himself or the way he fights. And plus, I think ever since he did that thing where he said, we're doing this right now, we're standing, we're banging for the last 10 seconds, just mad respect ever since then. Another thing, make sure to check our social medias at Liho Sports. We'll definitely be doing more story posts, getting more involved with our viewer interaction, and look out for more stuff. We might be posting more than just podcasts on here. Of course, our podcast is the staple of what the Liho Sports brand is, but we're looking to expand it into more than just the podcast. We're looking to do other videos on mock drafts, let them do separately, might even do reactions, and possibly down the line, I don't know if am I allowed to say it just yet, or are we going to keep that to ourselves?
What is that? I mean,
what we've been doing in the background for all this time.
Oh yeah, he can say it.
So we're looking into the possibility of starting a gaming side of it with streaming and other stuff, and bringing in other people that we know that we trust to be a part of and hold the Liho brand of everything, just what we've created in this. So yes, of course, this is the Liho Sports podcast. I've been Daniel. This is Ben, who's always been with me every week, and we always do the best we can to make sure you guys are entertained with all of our sports wackiness and our stupidity sometimes. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below any requests you have, any recommendations you have for us, what we can do with our backgrounds, if you want us to put jerseys that we have or anything like that. Of course, we would love to get viewers involved. Absolutely. But until next time, see ya.
Shoots.